Hey, it's Lori Ballen out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. My real estate team serves Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and I am up here in Summerlin, and we would love your real estate referrals. Okay, so it has been 10 years since I started building my real estate team at Keller Williams. So I thought this would be such a cool video to wrap up 2020 and head into 2021. And I always get super reflective this time of year anyway, eh, kind of looking back on lessons that I've learned, milestones, pivotal growth moments, what kind of things got me here. And then I started asking that question, what's next, or where do I want to go from here? And what kind of person do I need to become to get to that level? Just that kind of thing. Today, it's a little bit different. I'm in a different place in my life for sure than I was 10 years ago when I first started making YouTube videos. um, Much different place in my life. And I wouldn't make the same decisions today based on the lifestyle I have today that I did then. But I wouldn't change anything in the past because I believe we're always exactly where we're supposed to be. We're always going through exactly what we're supposed to be going through because that's how we grow and get to that next level. So I want to share some of my own experience, maybe some wisdom, some failures, some growth opportunity that you can take a look at as you move into through 2021 and into building your own real estate team. I'll share with you some of the things that I learned, and you take what you like and leave the rest. Okay, it's not going to offend me if you don't like it. And some of the things that I do shock people. To be honest with you, they're like, "What? She does what? How? What? Why would she do that?" So I'll explain some of it, and then other things that I do, people would like to do those things themselves. So let me start with, if you've never been on this channel before, like I said earlier, my name is Lori Ballen with a B, and I am a real estate agent at Keller Williams Realty. I got into real estate in 2007, spent the first few years at a different brokerage. And although I was a top agent in the company, I was going through a lot of really tough personal things at the time. And it was really, really hard to build and get to the profit point. In 2010, there was a major shift in the company I was at before. And I made a move to Keller Williams Real Estate and was immediately saturated in this learning environment. I don't know if that's the right word, saturated. Anyway, I was saturated by this learning environment. It was the whole environment was just so incredibly learning based, which was nice because I'm that person. So I'm a super learning based person. If I'm up in the morning doing my hair and makeup, I'm watching a YouTube video or I'm listening to a podcast or I've logged into an interview. There's no time wasted. I like to learn for doing sake. So I only dive into what I'm willing to implement at the moment. I'm not studying things that I might do in the future. There are things that I can actually implement. So when I got over to Keller Williams, I already understood leverage and teams because I had sold a multi-million dollar catering and event company in my mid 30s that I had since I was 21 years old. So I knew leverage. That part wasn't a challenge for me. What was a challenge for me was learn in when I built the catering company and I had 100 employees and I was young, 21. I married into it and then ended up running it and really being in charge of all the people, the human resources, the marketing, that type of thing. And for me, it was really, I cringe when I think about it, but I was a boss. I was a manager type of a leader. And that's all I knew. That was what I knew. When you're 21 and you're managing people that are in their, 40s, 50s, 60s, and some of these big macho guys that thought they knew everything, or these, women that had been there and done that, right? That I really had to grow this very tough exterior and get past the young person they saw, and convince them that I was in charge and I was their boss, and I led with a very heavy hand. Um, Also, it wasn't the place I wanted to be. I never wanted to be a human resources director. I never wanted to, when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be an interpreter for the deaf, sign language, or a teacher. And then I was heading towards becoming a teacher for the deaf, for deaf kids. And although marketing has always been in my DNA, in my blood since I was young and had my first candy bar sales team, before I even turned double digits, what I wanted to do was teach. And so here I am running this catering company. I don't like food. I don't like to cook, and I don't really want to be the boss. But yet my natural leadership personality pushed me out there. And this is something that I notice a lot. Couple things. One, the person that has the business or has the leads or has the network, the circle, the friends, the sphere of influence, whatever it happens to be, the person that has the leads winds up being the leader whether they want to or not. That's one thing I have found so often. And I don't think it should be that way. And then two, the people that don't have a natural leadership style will shrink. The people that can't handle confrontation, they will shrink back. And what happens is the person that handles confrontation the best, the person that moves the fastest and is the most result oriented, naturally kind of rises up and gets pushed because they want results. So they're craving it and they're chasing those results. Therefore, they're more likely to go, hey, you do this, bring this, because they want to get it done. Well, that's me. I want to get it done and I want to get results. And so I didn't want to be the boss. I didn't want to necessarily be the leader, but by default, those two things, one, I was the one that had the leads because I knew how to do marketing. And two, I was the one with the strongest result oriented personality. And so everybody else just kind of shrunk back and I wound up kind of running the show, and not at all what I wanted. So when somebody came along and offered to buy that business, when after I had my second daughter, and they were spaced 11 years apart, so I had another baby at 32. I was kind of done with all that world. I really was just in so much pain and angst, and I was sick to my stomach every day, making a ton of money. I mean, I made a lot of great money, but I was just miserable. I was so unhappy in that environment. And it was a toxic environment too. And I won't go into why, but it wasn't just me running the company. And so it was challenging. It wasn't just me owning the company. And so anyway, after that business sold and I wound up getting into real estate, the same thing happened. The same thing happened. I applied marketing. I knew how to get the leads. I had the most results oriented personality between me and my partner, which was my husband at the time. I wanted to get things done. Therefore, all of a sudden I'm in charge again. And before I knew it, I'm building a team. I'm hiring people. I'm human resources, firing people, going through all of that stuff. So at Keller Williams, I started taking leadership classes and really getting myself just drenched in the language of leadership. And I built quickly. And I was on all the stages. I was interviewed by Gary Keller. I had 15 agents. I had the big office. Did I say that already? I'm not sure if I said that already. So I was doing those things that I wanted to do. And we had really good years in there with a lot of profit. And we had years with not as much profit. And I'll talk a little bit more about why that was so that you can get some takeaways there. But in any event, I still wound up being pretty miserable because I wound up repeating the same thing I had in the previous business. I brought over the same pain. I kept myself in the same role that brought where I didn't want to be. It's not I'll share this with you. Let me tell you why I think I was in so much pain. I think for me, the challenge was that I was trying to make myself I was trying to change who I was in order to be the leader that I thought I should be. And that was my biggest challenge, not downfall, because everything was still very successful, but um that was my biggest challenge. That's why I was so miserable in that role as the rainmaker with a big team, was because I was spending all every waking minute in podcasts or videos or coaching and everything to become a better leader. And I remember people would say to me like, Lori, if you could just adapt your personality long enough to be the leader you need to be to get the results out of the team and to help them grow as well, then you don't have to stay adapted very long. Because my natural personality has always been, a little cold, move fast. I'm not the girl that dots the smiley. I have a high I personality and a high D personality, which means I'm result oriented and also influential. But I do love hearts and smileys, but I don't soften things, I guess is the only way I know how to say it. So like my team would tell me that I would send them an email or I'd send them a text and everybody thought I was mad and so then I had to force myself to put little smiley faces after my text message to let them know that I'm not mad. I'm just moving fast. And I was having a hard time getting everybody to, um, I thought everybody should be as disciplined as I was. And I thought everybody should want more for themselves because I want more for them. And I spent all day frustrated. I just spent all day frustrated. I couldn't become the person that I felt I needed to become in order to get all these people pushed forward. I know today now that a lot of it was just having not that they were the wrong people, but we were a mismatch. We didn't go together. And I realize that today, that a big part of my struggle then, and I'll tell you about my new model, but the big struggle then was that even though I was spending a ton of time in interviews and references and hiring and I spent thousands of dollars and years traveling to learn all of these behavioral assessments and putting the right people on the right seat of the bus and all of that, it still was constant frustration for me. And I think that is a challenge in my personality, is that I want for people things that I think they should want rather than what they actually want. It sounds funny, but I want the certain things for them that I think would add quality of life, that would buy them more free time, that would build their future, that would change their family tree, but they don't want that. So you can't want enough for somebody that it will change what they want in life. So what I was really doing is hiring a bunch of people that should have been in 9 to 5 jobs that were struggling with the whole independent contractor and on a team at the same time. So that was a big part of the challenge. So what I learned building a real estate team is that first, you have to, if you're going to build a team and you're going to be the leader, you have to get joy out of that. You have to get joy out of the process of working with people to grow their careers and grow their business, and not just as a coach who spends an hour with somebody and gives them advice and then is off. We're talking about you're in their everyday life. You are one of the biggest influencers in that person's life. And you have to really love that and get so much joy out of that, because what I have found is we will move away from pain. And there's a certain amount of time that we can handle pain to get to the goal, but not forever, And so for me, I realized today that, and again, I'm going to tell you about my new model, which is now perfect, but I realized today that in all of my businesses, I've had this challenge, not just real estate. And I would be better off having another person at my side, I think, that is more of the out front people person. I'm a great visionary, and I really can look ahead and steer the ship. I can influence others. I can motivate them if they're already self motivated. All of that, I enjoy that kind of stuff. But I don't want to be the person that's dealing with the people every day. I want to be behind the computer. I want to be marketing. My vision is in on the tech side. That's where I want to live. And I think the fact that I couldn't do that was just way too hard for me. So I don't want to spend my whole day dealing with one person after the next, coming to my desk or me going to them in order to build profit. So I know that now. So what I did is the first model was my traditional. Well, actually, no, nothing I ever did was traditional ever. I wanted it to be, but it never was. The first team that I built was a 50-50 team. I generated the leads. They worked with the clients. I didn't work with many clients, hardly ever. And I paid all the bills. I paid for coaches, education, gas, licenses. I mean, I paid for all the things. And it was really hard to ever be super profitable. We the highest number of units I ever closed in a year was 100. So it wasn't. I never tried to be that 1,000 unit a year real estate team. So, but doing 100 was still in my market. We were doing short sales. This was during the distressed market time. So we were working off very low commissions, low price ranges in Vegas, like condos for $30,000. It took us 2 years to process a short sale. And then we were going 50-50 on a team. So it was a real struggle. And also I had picked up the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, MREA, and I was trying to build verbatim, word by word, dot by dot, according to the MREA. And it wasn't until years later and I think it was Dave Jenks who co-wrote the book, who said this to me. I think it was him, but somebody said to me, and I think it was Dave said, we wrote that book based on people that were doing $2 million in commission. So it made it really hard for that math to play out early on. But we're trying to hire listing agents at a 10% commission because that's what the book said, or this, that, and the other. And I never really got that big picture that there's phases when you build a team. There's stages, right? When you first start in real estate, it's usually just you. And then your first hire should be an admin, but more often than not, agents bring on another agent, and they bring them on at a ridiculous amount of money. They're paying that agent way too much money, and then they're not making enough money, and it's really not buying them their time back. It could get really messy, right? So MREA suggests that agent and then admin, and then buyer's agent or showing agent, and then the last one of those typical hires is the listing agent. That's just kind of the structure of how that works, right? And so I had all of that. I had admins, I had transaction coordinator. At one point I had a marketing director, and I really kind of tapped out at the 100 unit mark is when I realized it wasn't the workload that was bothering me. It was trying to grow to the next level to bust past that 100 units, which was going to require me to spend even more time in the people part of things. And it just really wasn't what I wanted to do. So after my divorce from my real estate partner in 2016, I sat down and said, you know what? This is my opportunity. This is my opportunity to build a real estate business that is a source of income, albeit not my primary source of income, a source of income that doesn't require me to be anywhere physically ever, doesn't require me to be doing 411s and goal setting with agents, doesn't require me to pay for admin and coaches and licenses and everything else. This is my chance to take advantage of the fact that I know how to lead generate and can do the marketing and find people that matches with, that I have what they don't have, and I have what they want and they have what I want, and together we can create more, which is how it's supposed to work in the first place. So I changed my model and I sent out an email to the board of realtors, and I wanted one agent was all I was looking for at first. And it was perfect. This was exactly right for me. I wanted one agent. So I sent out an email to the board of realtors, like 18,000 or 14,000 real estate agents. And a lot of people in Vegas know who I am because of marketing. So I said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I am looking for an agent that wants to just go out and work with buyers and sellers. I'll generate the leads. You pay for your stuff, and I'll take a 30% commission. So essentially, it was like a 25%, similar to like a 25% referral model. I'll generate the leads. You go out and work with the clients, and you pay for your stuff. So in essence, I'm a lot more profitable per deal, even at a 30% commission versus a 50% commission, because I'm not paying for all the things. And my lead generation strategy is a lot of real estate agent referral to referrals through influence, YouTube, social media, that type of thing. A lot of people know Vegas, so sending referrals to Vegas, it happens a lot. So I'm fortunate there. And they remember Lori Vegas Ballen to send a referral to. So that's very helpful. And then I build websites, and I do search engine optimization and social media strategies to generate leads online as well. So knowing this, I sent out that email. I got, I got some go away emails. I got some no thank you, I'm happy emails, and I got several responses back. And there were a few that were worth entertaining, but there was one specifically that stood out. He wrote like a full length letter back to me about why he thought this was a perfect match. And I had my team leader screen him before I ever even met him. And then I met him and we hit it off. And this has now been 4 years later. We're still a team. 3 years later, 16, 17, 18, 19. Gosh. So it was April. Oh no, it was April of 2017 when he actually came on. So it's been just over 3 years, 3.5 years. Anyway, it was a perfect model for both of us. I generate the leads. He goes and works with the clients. He handles his own stuff. And that's it. And he's somebody that works honestly and ethically, which was very important to me. Had raving reviews and testimonials from his past clients. He was very experienced, been in real estate a long time. So I felt very confident. To this day, he's been on my team for 3.5 years. We have met twice face to face. And we've probably only talked like a dozen times, maybe. It's pretty amazing. That's when you know it works, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's how that's how I like things. And then I had also posted on Facebook that I was looking for another team member once he got too busy. And a great agent also named Lori in another state had a cousin that was here in Vegas and had been doing real estate during the foreclosure crisis. And she never lead generated, but she did a lot of business in that time and in that area. And so she was looking for somebody that had the leads. And so it worked out again. And she's been on my team now a few years. So that's been tremendous. This model is so perfect for me. It's just perfect. And now my younger brother, Jeff, got his license. And now I think I don't know. I'll have to look at the numbers. He may finish out tops of the team this year, but I don't know. Krista might. I'm going to have to take a look. Anyway, so all three doing great. And so now there's the four of us, but I don't go out and work with clients. I have one referral in Summerlin that I'm um, priming up because it's my area. And I've decided that if some referrals come in directly for right where I am in Summerlin, in this particular area, then I would be willing to work with maybe half a dozen clients per year, help cover my daughter's college, but I haven't yet. To this day, I've not worked with a client since 2009. I think it is. That's a long time. And I still make a what would be a living off of real estate every year. So the biggest difference is now I have multiple businesses. So I am not only doing real estate. I do affiliate marketing. I'm a six-figure affiliate marketer. I have 8 websites that I build and multiple YouTube channels that are monetized through ads. So they're publishing, they're monetized through affiliate income. And that whole world of content marketing is my favorite thing next to teaching. So now I get to teach people how to generate more leads online, how to social media strategies, search engine optimization strategies, how to build their websites, how to blog, all of that, how to build successful YouTube channels. And it's such a nice world. My time is my time. It's completely my time. Every day I wake up is my decision. I hardly ever have anything on the calendar. Generally speaking, the only things that are on my calendar are speaking engagements or classes that I'm teaching. For the most part, that's it. The team, I haven't met a client. Um, it's for me, this is a great model. You people might stick their nose up at it because it isn't what they would do or isn't what they would want. But for me, I like being removed now from it. But again, I think if I were in my 20s, in my 30s, just getting going, it could be a totally different story. Today, at 49 years old, I like the space. I like the freedom. I like the that I don't have to change who I am for 5 minutes to appease somebody else who's sensitive or to step out of my general focus to handle the fact that somebody closed a deal and said it included the refrigerator when it didn't. And now we have to go buy a refrigerator for somebody. Oh my gosh. You know, there was also one time in that when I had that big team that I was going to have to go to court because somebody on the team was had an issue. I don't remember the exact issue because it wound up being dropped and it was not her fault. But because the contract was in my name, I was going to have to go to court and vouch and tell the story. And I didn't know the story because I wasn't there. So I stopped putting contracts in my own name. All of the agents put all the contract in their own name. They get their own production. Those were decisions that I had to make over time so that this was structured in a way that I felt good about and that I found joy in and that I felt like I could continue to work in and grow without waking up every day hating that I had to get up and go to the office and be somebody other than Lori Ballen, because that wasn't me. That person I was trying to have to become wasn't me. This is me. This this authenticity, this life, this freedom. And the most beautiful thing of all of it is that I get to spend as much time as I want now teaching. That's what YouTube is for. That's what Zooms are for and webinars and my courses at Ballen Academy. I get to spend all my time teaching and teaching marketing, which is what I love. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe you pull a couple nuggets out of it, and be yourself, grow through others and learn, but don't lose yourself in the process, which was something that I did. I think you have to remain true to you and find your joy and really live in that, because that's where everybody's going to benefit if you are in that position that really brings you joy. So thank you so much for being here today. Happy New Year. I hope you have a tremendous, successful 2021.